There's a Yoruba tradition many people don't talk about, a tradition where one man's entire destiny was tied to the king's death. Imagine living every single day knowing that whenever the king dies, you die too. That was the fate of the Abobaku. In ancient Yoruba kingdoms, kings were not ordinary rulers. They were Alafin, Kabiyesi, sacred beings believed to represent the gods on earth. And when such a king died, the entire universe of the kingdom shifted. To restore balance between the world of humans and the spirit realm, one man had a terrifying role. He was the Abobaku, the one who dies with the king. The Abobaku lived a life full of honor. He wore fine clothes. He lived close to the palace. People bowed to him. Even chiefs respected him. But behind that respect was pity, because everyone knew, the day the king died, the Abobaku's life was over too. He was chosen from certain families whose ancestors had sworn loyalty. Sometimes the role was inherited. Sometimes a king personally selected the man he trusted the most. And once chosen, there was no refusal. When the king fell sick, the entire palace became tense, but nobody was more afraid than the Abobaku. Every palace drumbeat felt like a warning. Every whisper from the royal healers felt like a countdown. Some Abobaku prayed harder than anyone else for the king's recovery, because their own life depended on it. And then, the day the king died, the ritual began immediately. The Abobaku was summoned. He was purified, prepared, dressed in special cloth. And then his life was taken peacefully to accompany the king into the afterlife. In those days, it wasn't seen as murder or wickedness. It was believed that the king needed loyal companions in the spirit world, just as he had in the physical. If he arrived alone, without attendants, the ancestors could reject him, and the entire kingdom could fall into spiritual chaos. To maintain cosmic order, the Abobaku followed. But one story changed everything. During the reign of a powerful king in Oyo, news broke that the Alafin had died after a long illness. The palace drums changed rhythm, signaling the passing of royalty. Messengers were sent to bring the Abobaku for the final rites. But for the first time in Yoruba history, the Abobaku refused. He panicked. He ran. He disappeared into the night, crossing farms, villages, forests, fleeing from a destiny his family had carried for generations. The palace guards searched everywhere, but he was gone. That single act shook the palace. The elders argued. Some said another man must replace him. Others said the world was changing, and the ritual must end. It became one of the last Abobaku episodes ever recorded. As colonial influence grew and human sacrifices were outlawed, Yoruba kingdoms adjusted their burial traditions. Kings continued to be buried with honor, but the practice of dying with the king faded into history. Today, the role no longer exists, but the story of the Abobaku remains a powerful reminder. Some people lived in privilege, but their privilege came with a price nobody would ever dare pay today. So when Yoruba elders say, the Abobaku watches the king's face, they re-warning that some responsibilities look sweet, until you understand what comes with them. This is the legend and the truth of the Abobaku of Yoruba land.
Subscribe for more stories like these.